Okay, so part 2 of the video, I'm going to do 3 more problems for you. And right here, it's saying what is 15 minus 3i minus 6 minus 4i. And this is another skill in Brain Genie. I think this is skill 3. This is subtraction. So it's not multiplication. I can't multiply these. What I'm doing is I'm taking one number, this is one complex number, and I'm subtracting another complex number, okay? And maybe it's easiest to think about this as combined like terms. So if I have an I, then I can combine them, and if I have a constant, then I combine those, okay? The tricky thing is that we're subtracting. So minus 6 seems pretty easy, but then we're also minus negative 4i. And there's a trick to this that we talked about earlier with polynomials, where you can change this to a plus, and then you change all the signs in the next one. You don't have to do this, but if you don't do this, it would be minus 6 minus negative 4i. If you minus a negative, then it's the same thing as adding. So I've got 15 and negative 6, so that's 9. And then negative 3i and positive 4i, and that gives me just 1i. Now it's always written with the I in the back, so it's always the first number and then the imaginary number, the number connected to I in the back. So 9 plus I, looks like we got C. Okay, it says simplify the expression to a plus bi form, and it gives me this. Now this is multiply because the two numbers are connected with parentheses, or they're joined next to each other in parentheses. And so I'm going to multiply, and since I have two binomials, I'm going to FOIL. So I'm going to multiply the first terms, outside terms, inside terms, and last terms. So I'm going to double distribute the 9. 9 times negative 8 is negative 72. 9 times negative 10 is negative 90. I. Negative 9 times negative 8 is positive 72. And negative 9 times negative 10 is positive 90i squared. This last one is the part where a lot of students get confused. 9i times, or negative 9i times negative 10i, it's I squared. And it should look like where you have I and you have I squared. It should rarely look like you wouldn't have I squared, because think about it, you have an I and an I, and if you didn't have a complex number in each one, then you wouldn't have an I in each one. But if there's two complex numbers, then you're going to have I times I, and you're going to have I squared. Okay, so now we're to combine like terms. Negative 72, positive 72, those go to 0, so that cancels out. I'm left with negative 90i plus 90i squared. And I'm going to go back to my knowledge that I squared is equal to negative 1. So it's negative 90i plus 90 times negative 1, which is negative 90 minus 90i. So 90 times negative 1 is negative 90. And I'm going to put that number first because I want my number with I in the back. You'll never have an answer with I squared. Okay, let's do some more multiplication. Notice that these two numbers are together with the parentheses, so I'm going to multiply. And you need to remember when you multiply radicals that you multiply outside times outside. and inside times inside. Okay, so my numbers on the outside are 9 times 1, which is 9. And my numbers on the inside is 72 times negative 2. Which is negative 144. Okay, the negative on the inside means that I have an I, so I'm going to pull that 9i out. I'm going to pull that I out. It's going to be 9i root 144. And then square root 144, since I know my radical tables, I know that that's equal to 12. So it's 9i times 12. 9 times 12 is 108. So 108i. And that's your answer. Let's do one more. I've got 5 radical negative 14 times radical 2. So outside's 5 times 1. And radical negative 14 times radical 2 is negative 28. And then this one can be simplified. This is I, so I've got I. And then 28 is 4 and 7. So this breaks into 2 root 7. So 2 times 5 is 10, I root 7. That's it. Okay, the last one is going to be the conjugate. It says, what is the conjugate of negative 6 over 5 plus 2 over 5i? Don't look at this and get scared. Know the definition of conjugate. All I have to do for the definition of conjugate is rewrite it, changing the middle sign. Only that sign, nothing else. So negative 6 over 5 minus 2 over 5i. Is that one of my answers? There you go. Okay.